Hello everyone, welcome to BIM Man series. I am your host, Architect Shivang Rajvi, and I am going to talk about BIM, Building Information Modeling. That's my favorite subject. So that is what I like to talk about majority of the time. Now today's series I am going to talk about aspects, the parameters which you need to consider if you want to switch to BIM. So let's say you have aligned your team is with you, you all are on the same ground. The third step in this process will be investigating the right tool that can help you to do BIM. Like I have told in my earlier videos also, I want to go from here to Pune is BIM. I want to go in my car, I want to go in bus, I want to go in train, I want to go by Vande Bharat. All these are tools. And this depends on my vision. Then comes tool. Tomorrow someone comes and some sales guy comes and tells you that hey, switch to BIM, this is my software. And you switch, will not work. There are many cases I have seen in last 20 years. People say that we are doing BIM, but eventually they are just using the software, the BIM software, and just taking the benefit that create plan, and you get section. So that is that वो entire thought ही गलत है. Never do that. Always assess. Assess what is the right tool for you. What are the things you should consider while assessing the tool? I'll tell you. It should be flexible, first thing. The tool should be flexible for you to work on any operating system. Let's say prominent two operating systems you have right now, Windows and Apple. You should be able to do that. And I'll tell you the reason. When I started my professional career, I was on all Windows system. I'm talking about 2008. I was on all Windows system. 11 Windows systems. Today, in my own office, I have all Mac systems, only one Windows system. So you have to assess tools based on this. You should have this, your option to have this openness that okay, I can have only Windows, I can have only Apple, or I can have mix of both in my office. So assess the tool on this first parameter, how open it is in terms of hardware and operating system capabilities. Second point to assess the tool is how open the tool is in terms of workflows. See, switching to BIM, the tool should not restrain you or restrict you from trying your design ideas. The tool should not tell you that you cannot move this element there or that element here because there is a link, or there is some restriction, or there is some other reason. I mean, I don't want to go deeper into the reason, because then if I use that exact word, you will understand which tool I am talking about. So second is how open and flexible the tool is while working. No tool is perfect. Probably in some tool you'll be able to do some design, and in other tool you'll be able to do something else. So no tool is perfect. No tool is perfect. But you have to understand that which tool gives you more freedom. Freedom to explore design. So this is second chapter. Second point. Third point is how open your outputs are. Because I have said in one of my videos earlier, ISO 19650, the BIM standard, and another country BIM standards which are very famous, like Singapore BIM standards or UK BIM standards or US BIM standards. All of these are eventually going to, adopt ISO standard. But let's say right now they have, last when I checked, they have their own country standards also and ISO also. All these standards don't talk about software files. They don't talk about this file type or that file type. They talk about .ifc, which is submittal for BIM, and they talk about what all information is needed. So basically, IFC is machine readable file which has all the information and 3D data for your building to be built or analyzed, or further doing something. Let's say you want to do energy analysis, you want to do life cycle analysis, you want to do some other things in other softwares where your software file type is not available, then you will need .ifc. So that is how open your BIM software is. That is your other factor which you have to decide. And the third is what are the obviously cost implications. how in a long run, see, never ever look at what is the price you are getting today. Today, if I want to close the deal, I can give discount if I am a hardcore salesperson. And tomorrow, I try to recover that money from my next renewal or while giving you some support or while doing something for you. So beware. Never ever fall for heavy early discounts. Instead, I would say from my perspective, those who give you good deal in a long run are better than those who give you heavy discounts to close the deal. So these are the aspects. I will summarize them for you. How to choose the right tool. First thing, it should be open tool in terms of operating system and hardware. Second thing, it should be flexible for you and your team to design buildings or design systems or design your ideas. Third thing, the output should be open. That the output is open. .ifc is what I talk. And the last thing is just check how cost implications are happening. So these are the aspects you have to decide your right BIM tool. Having said 3 points, 3 points we talked about is sit with your team, align them. So first you understand the BIM, you have your clear goal, then sit with your team, align them on your goal. Third step is assess and define your tool. Before you invest in tool, before you start anything else, the next target should be defining your BIM standards, or rather internal BIM standards, because in India we don't have countrywide BIM standards as of now. So you can define your internal BIM standards for a simple reason. Teams will come and go, teams will change, people will come and go. Today who is with you may not be in your team after 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. So you have to focus on defining your standards first. And pro tip, you can check links in this video. In the standards, we are going to share ISO standards link and Singapore BIM standards link also. So define standards, what will be the deliverables, what will be the data output, how much information you are going to put in your model, how much information you are going to get out of the model, what will be your communication tool with your clients, with contractors, with consultants, and with your internal team. Define all these things. These all plus many other things go as standards. So this is the fourth thing, standards. Fifth thing, design your implementation strategies. What does this mean? You have to implement BIM. You don't have to just purchase the software. So implementation means, see, there are two ways of looking at implementation, which I know of. One way of looking at implementation is people just hire someone and ask them to implement, and those agencies send their team to sit in your office and they will do the work and they will give you finish the product or model and give it to you, and they will say we will make standards also for you and templates also for you. This is one way of looking at it. The other way is there are agencies who gives you consultation on how to use a particular tool, then helps your team how to finish one or two pilot projects using that particular tool, and then guides and consults your team to make company standards also. So basically there are two approaches. One approach is I will send my man, he will sit there, he will do everything, you will get everything, and our contract is over. Second approach is I'll send my man, or I will be there, we will sit, we will understand your need, we will do tailor-made training programs, we will empower your team to finish the project. Otherwise, how your team will feel confident about it? Once the consultant is out, you have to make sure. So in implementation, at all stages, when you are thinking about implementation, and when you are analyzing implementation proposals, ask this simple question to yourself, not to anyone. Nobody will give you a real answer. Ask this simple question to yourself. Which of the implementation system is going to make your team more empowered? And which of the implementation systems you will feel confident that you will not need anyone once the implementation is over? So these are the factors of looking at implementation. And then after this, you spend for licenses. Once all this is ready, then you spend for licenses. This is the way of going BIM. These are your exact 5 steps of going BIM. Step 1, you yourself understand BIM. Step 2, align your teams on your BIM goal. Step 3, start assessing which are the tools, which are the ways you want to go doing BIM. Step 4, pick your standards, your standard of BIM submittals, your standard of BIM practices, your standard of BIM output. Step 5, call someone for implementation, decide implementation. These are the aspects. I'm going to go in detail about 2 things from these 5. One is I'll talk about how to check or finalize the tool, BIM tool. And the second thing I'm going to talk about is how you can do implementation services ka selection, analysis. Who should you pick, how and when. Having said this, watch out for my next video. I would like to thank all of you. Like this channel, subscribe, share with your friends, and help us build a community who understand BIM in a right way. Thank you all. Signing off, Architect Shivan Rajvi.